welcome to my channel, Andrea Makes, and I am so excited to show you how to make the Misa shorts or pants. I made the shorts, but if you'd like to make the pants, the construction is the same. And here's the pattern. It's by Style Sew Me. Here are the line drawings. And the pattern and the fabric were in the June thread crate box, and I'll put a link to that unboxing right here in case you haven't seen it. But if you don't subscribe to Thread Crate and would still like the pattern, you can buy it directly from Style Sew Me, and I will put a link to her website in the description box. And I'll also put an affiliate link to Thread Crate in the description box as well. And here are the shorts I made during the tutorial. This is a rayon linen blend. Absolutely gorgeous in this olive green color. You can see it has these fun pockets that are easy to make and attach. A paper bag style waist with a belt. I love this belt pattern. You can use it for lots of things. And here's the back. And I just love how these look on. They are so stylish and comfortable at the same time. And I am 5'11", and I added 3 inches to the rise of the shorts, and they fit perfectly. And here are some pictures of me wearing them so you can see what they look like on. And I made the size large. My waist measurement fell between a medium and a large, and she suggests in the pattern that if that happens, to size up because there's not a tremendous amount of ease designed into this pattern, so keep that in mind. I did a couple things differently than the pattern suggests, so you may want to watch my video all the way through and see how I do things, and then read the pattern instructions and see which way you prefer. I do recommend, once you have cut out all your fabric, to go ahead and finish all your edges on all your pieces except the belt. You don't need to finish those, and don't finish the edges on the belt loops in the beginning. Now further on in the tutorial I'll show you what to do with those belt loop pieces, but in the beginning don't finish the edges. So you don't need to do the belt pieces at all, and don't do the belt loop pieces for the time being. But all the other fabric pieces that you've cut out, I do recommend going ahead and finishing all the edges using your preferred method. I serged mine, and keep in mind the seam allowance for the pattern is 1/2 inch, so make sure that your finishing method is less than 1/2 inch. And I do want to show you on the waistband pattern piece where it says CF, that means center front, and you have these 2 notches right here. So make sure that you cut those out. That will be very important when we go to attach the waistband. And also on the waistband piece, they have the placement marked for the belt loops. Don't worry about marking those because I'll show you in the tutorial where to put the belt loops. It's really easy. You just line them up with the pocket. So don't worry about marking those on your fabric, but you do want to cut out that notch for your center front on your waistband, and cut out all your notches on all your other pieces as well. I think you'll really love making these shorts or pants. So cut out all your fabric pieces, finish all your edges except the belt loops and the belt, and mark all your notches, and let's make these shorts or pants. I'm going to be doing my pocket binding a little differently than the pattern suggests. So watch my method and then look at the way the pattern suggests, and you decide which method you prefer. The way I did it is grab one of your pocket pieces, and I've already finished all my edges with my serger, and here is the pocket binding, and I have folded mine wrong sides together once, just in half, and I have finished the 3 edges, and I'm going to line the serged edges of the binding along the curved edge of the pocket, and pin or clip it all the way around. And once you have that pinned or clipped, you want to sew it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then meet me back here. Now that I have my pocket binding sewn onto my pocket, there it is, sewn on. This is the right side. I'm going to press the binding away from the pocket, and on the wrong side, I'm going to press the seam allowance toward the pocket and give it a good press, and then from the right side I'm going to stitch about 1/8 inch away from the fold, and that will catch that seam allowance underneath and hold it down. So go do that and meet me back here. Here's what the pocket and the binding looks like from the front. You can see the top stitching there, and then here it is on the back. I think that's a really neat finish. Okay, repeat that for your other pocket. Once you've sewn the binding onto both pocket pieces, grab your pocket piece and put it wrong side up, and grab a ruler and some sort of marking tool for sewing, and 1 inch up from the bottom, mark a line, and then 1 inch from this long edge, mark a line 1 inch in. And now, wrong side up, fold the bottom edge up to that line and give it a press, and then fold the long edge up to that line you marked and give it a press. And I learned this from Lindsay from Inside the Hem. Anytime you need to fold something up, you want to double the measurement. So the pattern instructions said to fold it up 1/2 inch. So if you draw a line 1 inch up, when you fold it, that will make a 1/2 inch fold. So I think that's pretty cool and a lot easier. So go ahead and fold up to your lines and give it a press, and do that to the other pocket piece, and then meet me back here. Once you have the pocket piece folded in 1/2 inch and pressed, here's what it will look like. This is the right side, and then here's what it looks like from the back. Neatly pressed in 1/2 inch. Now it's time to attach the pockets to the front shorts or pants pieces, and notice I've already finished all the edges of my shorts. Finished the edges of all the pieces, of course, like we talked about in the beginning. But grab your put your front short piece right side up and find the corresponding pocket piece and put it right side up. And here's the crotch and the pocket will be opposite the crotch. The shorts, you've got this long straight edge, and that's where your pocket will be. So you want to align your pocket with the edge of your shorts right here and across the top, and then pin your pocket in place, and then using a 1/4 inch seam allowance across the top, you're going to use a basting stitch, and then down this long edge you're going to change to a normal stitch and top stitch this on, 1/4 inch seam allowance, still using your normal stitch, top stitch it across the bottom, and then you can change to a basting stitch for the side. So do that to both front short pieces and both pocket pieces, and then meet me back here. This isn't in the pattern, but this is something that I like to do and find it easier, and it's called pre-creasing. And what we're going to do is pre-crease the hem. Now this is if you're just going to do a single fold hem, which is what I'm doing because I've already finished my edges with my serger. If you'd like to do the double fold hem, just follow the instructions in the pattern. But for the single fold hem, if you've already finished your edges, the hem is going to be 1 1/4 inches. So if we double that, that's 2.5 inches. So we're going to draw a line 2.5 inches from the bottom of all 4 shorts pieces. On the wrong side of all 4 pieces, 2.5 inches, and then fold the bottom up to that line and give it a good press, and do that to all 4 pieces if you're doing the single fold like I'm doing, and then meet me back here. That pre-creasing will help a lot and come in handy when it's time to do our hem. So now that we've pre-creased all 4 pieces, we're going to get your front shorts pieces and put them right sides together, and then unfold your pre-crease so everything's flat, and then in the curve right here, pin or clip that together and sew it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then repeat the same for your back pieces. Put those together, right sides together, and sew and press your seams open, and meet me back here. Once you have your front pieces sewn together and your back pieces sewed together, we're going to sew the front to the back at the inseam and the side seams. So grab your front piece and put it right side up. Oops. And your back piece and put it right side down. And then unfold your pre-creases, and on the side seams you're going to pin or clip these all the way down. So that long seam, and then the other side seam, pin or clip it all the way down. Just make sure your pre-creases are unfolded down here. You want them flat. And then while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and pin the crotch inseams together. So just this little curved piece right here. Pin or clip those. Match up that seam as best you can. So we're going to be sewing this together and then both side seams together. 1/2 inch seam allowance. So do that and then meet me back here. Now get all 6 of your belt loop pieces, and there's going to be 3 sets. So put them right sides together, and then sew down the long edges. Don't sew across the short edges. Do that for all 3 sets. That's what it'll look like. This is right sides together. And then trim your seam allowances. That's what it will look like when you do that. And then turn them right side out. Give them a press. And I finished the short edges on mine. The pattern didn't say to do that, but I wanted to. So you decide if you want to do that or not. So do that and then meet me back here. Put your shorts right side up. Here are the pockets, and grab 2 of your belt loop sets, and you want to line the edge of your belt loop up with the binding on your pocket. So put them like that. Line this up right here, and then baste across using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and do the same for the other belt loop and pocket. Just line it up the edge with your pocket binding, and then baste it a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and take the remaining belt loop and center it across the back seam of the back of the shorts and baste it on as well using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Find your waistband piece, and we're going to pre-crease again. So fold it together, wrong sides together, hot dog style, and then give it a good press, and that will be our pre-crease. And once you've done that, unfold it, and we're going to put it right sides together, the short ends. Put them right side together. And pin or clip this short end and sew it with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then meet me back here. Once you have the short ends of the waistband sewn right sides together, press that seam open, and then you want to fold it wrong sides together, all the way around, and see, having that pre-crease really helps with this step. So pin or clip it all the way around the top, and make sure you are matching your notches all the way around, and you're going to baste it using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but leave a 2 inch opening, back stitching at the beginning and end, and then meet me back here. Now it's time to attach the waistband to the shorts. So grab your waistband and slide it onto your shorts. Put your shorts right side up, and the seam of the waistband is going to match the back seam of the shorts, and then the notches on the waistband are going to match the side seam of the shorts. So do your 2 side seams where your notches are of your waistband, and then the back seam of your waistband will match the back seam of your shorts, and then you should have marked a notch for the center front of the waistband, and it will match the center front seam of the shorts. So do pin those 4 sections, and then just ease the rest of the waistband in. And then you want to sew your waistband on using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but you want to leave a 4 inch opening. When you sew your waistband onto your shorts, you need to leave the opening in the waistband the same place you left the opening when you basted the waistband. So the openings need to be in the exact same spots. Back stitching at the beginning and end, and then meet me back here. Now pull your waistband away from your shorts. Here are your belt loops still hanging down, and give the top of your waistband a good press if you need to, and then we're going to stitch around from the top of the waistband, from this fold, 1/2 inch down, stitch it all the way around. and a 1/2 inch from the top fold, and then meet me back here. You should have your elastic already cut to the size you're making. If you haven't done that, go ahead and do that, and then we're going to thread the elastic through the opening we left in the waistband. So find your opening and get whatever threading tool you use and go ahead and start threading your elastic through the waistband and thread it all the way around, and then meet me back here. Once you have your elastic through the casing, you want to overlap the ends about 1 inch and then sew them together, and then meet me back here. Once you have the ends of your elastic sewn together, and make sure your elastic isn't twisted anywhere, go ahead and just pull on your waistband a little bit, and it'll get that elastic down in there, and then just pull on it gently, and that will help distribute the elastic evenly. Now go ahead and try your shorts on at this point and see if it's the fit you like. You may need to adjust your elastic some, maybe make it smaller or tighter. And once you've got your elastic where you want it, you're going to pull on the elastic, and you're going to close the opening of your waistband. So sew that opening closed, pulling on it to get it nice and flat, and then meet me back here. Now I like the look of these just the way they are, so I'm not going to do any more top stitching across my waistband or elastic, but if you would like to, look at your pattern instructions, and it suggests doing 2 more rows of stitching at 3/4 inch intervals on the waistband. And if you do that, just make sure that you pull it tight as you sew. So I will leave that up to you as to which look you would like. And now we're going to take care of these belt loops. You want to fold the bottom of the belt loop 1/2 inch, and then bring it up to meet the waistband. Clip it or pin it, whatever you prefer. It'll look like that. So it's hiding the raw edge. And then top stitch across there using an 1/8 inch seam allowance. So do that to all 3 belt loops, and then meet me back here. Here are the belt loops, top stitched on. And then once you've done that, it's time to hem. So we're going to use the pre-crease that we made a long time ago and fold it back in. Give it another press if you want to or need to. And then do your hem on both legs, and then meet me back here. Aren't those so fab? I just love them. Love the style. Okay, now we're going to move on to the belt pieces, and we're going to do more pre-creasing. So grab both your belt pieces and fold them right sides together, hot dog style, and give them a good press. Give us a good crease. It's a lot easier now that we have 2 separate pieces to do this. It's going to help because once we sew it all together, it's going to be really long, and we'll already have this pre-crease in there, and that will help a lot. So fold both pieces right sides together, give it a good press, and then unfold them and match up the short edges right sides together. And pin or clip all the way across and sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then meet me back here. Once you have that seam sewn, trim it to about 1/4 inch and then press it open. And then once you've done that, we're going to fold the entire thing right sides together. And here's where the pre-creasing comes in. It's going to be easy peasy and quick. So fold it together, right sides together, all the way down, pinning or clipping. And then once you've pinned it or clipped it all the way down, I'm just doing a couple clips right now to save time, but I will clip it all. And you do also, you're going to start on one of the angled edges, 1/2 inch seam allowance. So the angled edge, so halfway down the long edge, stop a little bit before the seam and back stitch, and then go a little bit past the seam. We're going to leave an opening, start here and back stitch, and then continue sewing all the way down the long end and then up the angle end, and just leave an opening for turning in the center near that seam. Leave about a 3 or 4 inch opening. Do that and then meet me back here. Once you have your belt sewn together, trim your seam allowances down to about 1/8 to 1/4. Just be sure to not clip into your stitches, and don't trim where your opening is because you're going to need that. So once you've trimmed your seam allowances, use your favorite tube turning method and turn your belt right side out, and then meet me back here. Once you have it turned right side out, poke out your corners as best you can. Give it a good press, and then tuck your seam allowances of your opening down into your belt, and either hand or top stitch the opening closed. And you also have the option of top stitching all around your belt if you'd like. So I will leave that up to you, but there is the fabulous Misa shorts and the belt. So what did you guys think? I hope you enjoyed my tutorial and will sew along with me. If you do, I would love to see and share what you make. Please tag me on Instagram so I can see it and share it. If you don't have Instagram, let me know in the comments if you've made the pants or the shorts. I absolutely love the conversations that we have in the comments. If you did sew along with me, if I helped you in any way and you'd like to leave me a tip, you can buy me a virtual cup of coffee through Ko-fi, Ko-fi, and I have a link to that in the description box. If you can't, no worries, no problems at all. If you could just continue to click like on my videos, comment on my videos, share my videos, it really helps me on YouTube. It encourages YouTube to promote my videos on YouTube. So thank you so much for all your support so far. I really, truly appreciate it. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you'd like to see future videos, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. See you next time. Bye!